for a campus tour, which will be followed by high tea and interactions with student committees at TAPMI. In the evening, the members of HR Forum and the Social Endeavour Group at TAPMI, along with few of the guests, will visit Bal Niketan, an orphanage for children, as part of TAPMI CSR initiatives. That brings us to the close of day 1. Day 2, that is tomorrow, will start at 10 a.m. with the intercollegiate case study presentation competition Expositus, for which we have 5 teams competing from few of the best B schools in the country. Expositus will go on till 12:30 p.m. We'll have the lunch break from 12:30 to 2 p.m. Post-lunch will be the mock press, Rondi, from 2 to 3:30 p.m. We'll have the valedictory ceremony at 4 p.m. that will mark the conclusion of Disha 2011. I thank the guests for accepting our invitation to attend Disha 2011. I also thank all the faculty members and staff who have been guiding us and the students' committees who have been striving hard to make this event a grand success. I am sure Disha 2011 will prove to be an enriching and enlightening experience for all of us. Thank you.
A very good morning to one and all. We are happy to present to you Onemia, the panel discussion, as a part of Disha 2011. Onemia is a platform where eminent minds from the industry come together to share their views on a topic of contemporary relevance in the field of human resource management. In keeping with the theme of Disha 2011 this year, which is Organizations of the Future, the topic for discussion is Engaging the Young Workforce. Since the dawn of the new millennium, due to the gradual increase in the average income of the middle class and thus an easier access to education and career opportunities, we have in India a huge pool of educated young graduates. This chunk of population has gradually found its way into organizations, often dramatically changing the demography of the workforce. Managing these employees effectively has thus become a necessary condition for the success of any organization. This year, Onemia takes a look inside the hearts and minds of this new breed of employees. Because it is their aspirations, expectations, hopes, fears, values, ideas, and perspectives which will shape what we call as the organization of the future.
Before we take a plunge into the topic, a brief introduction of this group would be in order. For designing strategies and processes to engage them, a thorough understanding of their nature and personality traits is indispensable. Generally termed as Gen Y, this group consists of those employees who were born after 1980. To understand the nature of this generation, it is necessary to understand the environment which has shaped their mindsets. Here, we attempt to map this mindset with the environment which molded it. We broadly break this environment into political, economic, social, and technological dimensions. We will detail the major events during the formative years of this generation and their impact in the shaping of mindsets. The political factors. The older half of this generation has seen turbulent political times along with ethno-religious conflicts. Affirmative actions and resultant protests were followed by religious tensions exploited by political interests. These events caused the generation to assert their identity. Further down the 90s saw a dramatic shift in the political landscape wherein the traditional and dynastic political alliances were dethroned and political space was ceded to others. This generation has also seen a series of political corruption scandals and thus places a high amount of importance to ethics. This attitude often has important implications at the workplace. There has also been a sense of disillusion towards the established authority and a sense of responsibility towards the society and the country as a whole. This also has implications in the workplace, wherein this generation seeks meaningful work as also an opportunity to make a difference to their surroundings.
On the economic front, this generation has seen a dramatic change from the license era to the world of liberalization, privatization, and globalization. This generation has reaped the benefits in the form of increased career opportunities and higher income. This has increased their bargaining power in terms of the organization which they want to be a part of. Loyalty and longevity of tenure are not the values they go by. Another development is the rise of India as an economic powerhouse and the resulting rise of Indian companies who are giving a tough competition to their peers abroad. A spate of acquisitions and expansions by Indian companies abroad has made them visible globally. This has generated a sense of pride in the current generation who asserts their Indian identity. They are confident to interact with their counterparts from other cultures.
The social factors. Liberalization has opened the doors of Western products and services, bringing along with them ideas and perceptions. However, in spite of this, Gen Y has not moved far away from its roots. Or maybe liberalization has given a sense of fear of moving away from the traditional values and has invited a counterintuitive behavior. In any case, Gen Y exhibits distinctive Indian values time and again. However, at the same time, they are also accommodative of diverse points of view and are culturally sensitive. Narrow barriers of caste have been made irrelevant. This is reflected in the protests which have been there against affirmative action.
On the technological front, this is a generation which has seen the technology revolution. Beginning from the internet in the mid-90s, this revolution has put an impression on their minds as nothing ever has. Gen Y in India is the most sophisticated user of technology. This generation desires the latest and the greatest technology tools like their global counterparts. It has awareness, access, and new money, and they want to use technology to make the difference, whether it's the internet, new software, iPhone apps, or social platforms such as Orkut, Facebook, YouTube. Gen Y in India is deeply interested in the use and development of technology. A recent diversity best practices survey shows that 78% of Gen Y in India are interested in technology developments, higher than the Gen Y of US or China. Technology is a principal part of the India's Gen Y identity.
Now, employee engagement. This is a concept which has its origins in the works of Schmidt in 1993. The concept of employee engagement is formed by the synthesis of traditional concept of job satisfaction and organizational commitment. The traditional metric of job satisfaction was found to be an inadequate predictor of employee performance. Employee engagement is a much broader term, and research shows significant correlations between employee engagement and desirable business outcomes such as retention of talent, customer service, individual performance, team performance, business unit productivity, and even enterprise level financial performance. Numerous definitions of engagement can be derived from practice and research driven literatures. Common to these definitions is the notion that employee engagement is a desirable condition, has an organizational purpose, and connotes involvement, commitment, passion, enthusiasm, focused effort, energy. So it has both attitudinal and behavioral components. The antecedents of such attitudes and behaviors are located in conditions under which people work, and the consequences are thought to be of value to organizational effectiveness. Onemia is a humble effort to explore the strategy to engage Gen Y. We have a two-panel format for the comprehensive treatment of the subject.
Panel 1 will be Understanding Gen Y. This panel will be discussing on the nature of young workforce and the impact of the unique characteristics on the traditional drivers of employee engagement. The discussion will center on the personality traits, value, aspirations, expectations, motivating factors, and the perspective of work and workplace for the Gen Y. The distinguished panel with its immense experience can throw light on these factors. The discussion will then move on to the transition of the workplace and the impact of these on the traditional drivers. The drivers of employee engagement, which we will focus on, are job characteristics, job role, relation with co-workers, leadership, perception of fairness, and relationship with management.
Panel 2 will be Engaging Gen Y. This panel will be discussing the HR system which can handle the factors which have emerged from the discussion 1. So, the points which come up in discussion 1 shall be discussed in detail as how an organization actually handles Gen Y, the processes and the activities which an organization undertakes so as to engage Gen Y and to develop among them a sense of commitment, loyalty and organizational citizenship.
With this, I would like to invite Professor Ajit Kumar to be the moderator for panel 1. Professor Ajit Kumar is a faculty member at TAPMI in the operations area. He is a BTech and MTech both from IIT Kanpur and a PhD from IIT Madras. He worked for 11 years in various organizations before switching to an academic career. He teaches courses such as operations research, problem solving and decision making, and product design and development at TAPMI. His research interests are in organizational learning and knowledge management, and he has published papers in international journals and conferences in these areas. Sir, we'd like you to please start with office.
Thank you, Anup and Diksha. It's my pleasure to be moderating this panel. I have very esteemed guests today with me who will give us insight, share their experience on this topic of understanding Gen Y. Let me introduce them to you one by one and invite them to occupy the stage. To my extreme right, we have Mr. Benny Augustine. Sir, please come to the stage. Mr. Benny Augustine has over 18 years of experience in managing the HR function in large multinational and Indian organizations from the IT services and manufacturing industry segments. He has worked with BPL Telecom, Dosha Software, Telesoft Inc. and Coats VLR. Benny joined Unisys in June 2004 as Director HR to kickstart the Unisys India operation along with other startup teams. Currently, Unisys has 3,500 plus employees spread over 4 facilities in 3 cities in India. He is a HR strategic business partner to Unisys India Business and Unisys Global HR. He is responsible for implementation of global HR strategic and operational initiatives, development and implementation of HR policies and practices, compensation, competency building and organizational development. Benny holds master's degrees from the University of Bangalore and the National Institute of Personnel Management in Calcutta. He obtained his MBA in marketing from the Symbiosis Institute of Management Studies in Pune. He is a life member of various HR professional associations. He is a Rotarian and is actively involved in various Rotary and Wise Men activities. He has traveled widely across the US, Austria, Germany, France, Switzerland, Malaysia and Singapore. He was recognized with a Gold Award from the CEO Unisys in recognition of setting up the Unisys initiative in India. He was conferred the Super Achiever Award by the Indira Group of Institutions in 2006. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Mr. Benny Augustine. To my immediate right will be Mr. K. Subramanian from Mafoi Ranstad. Please come, sir. Subbu, as he is popularly known, he is a Vice President with Mafoi Ranstad India and is responsible for the growth of top accounts by providing various types of HR services in one basket to his clients. He has 20 years of experience in the engineering and the HR services industry. In his decade-long experience of working with top HR firms in India, he has been associated in bringing best practices to HR, in particular to the talent acquisition area. He was also associated with NASSCOM/BPO industry initiatives in attracting the right talent to the industry. He is an avid traveler and a keen sports enthusiast. He lives in Bangalore. By qualification, he is a mechanical engineer and has a certification in general management from XLRI. Let's welcome Mr. Subramanian. To my immediate left will be Mr. Anand Rego. Please come, sir. Anand Rego is the Global Head of Recruitment Marketing for ANZ and is based in Melbourne. Anand has a well-rounded leadership experience across diverse functions, ranging from recruitment, marketing and human services to technology solutions and frontline banking with ANZ and other global banks. He has led and worked in cross-cultural teams in India, Singapore, Dubai and Australia, and delivered solutions in Southeast Asia, Pacific, Africa, Middle East and Europe. He is responsible for defining ANZ's global employment brand EB and employment value proposition EVP. He is currently executing various strategies to bring to life and promote ANZ's EB and EVP to internal and external target candidates in order to support his company's recruitment delivery globally. He is also developing and implementing digital initiatives such as social media, career site, mobile, etc. to drive innovation in recruitment based on global and relevant best practices. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome Mr. Anand Rego. To my extreme left, Mr. Girinarayanan from GE Power Electronics. Please come, sir. Giri is working as the Director HR for GE Power Electronics, formerly known as Lineage Power India. This provides energy system solutions for telecom. He has more than 20 years of professional experience in the field of HR, including strategic HR, talent management, and employee relationships. He has a green belt in Six Sigma, and his areas include recruitment, PMS, and travel. He has implemented employee engagement initiatives, talent management initiatives, competency models, competency-based recruitment, performance management system, etc. He holds a master's in public administration with specialization in personnel management from the University of Madras. He has also done other programs from INSEAD Singapore. As the chairman of the National Institute of Personnel Management, NIPM, he was conferred the National Award for the Best Member for the year 2001-2002 for significant contribution and services to the HR profession. Let's welcome Mr. Girinarayanan. Thank you, gentlemen, for taking out time and joining us today, being with us here. I believe that you have a lot to tell us about your experiences with Gen Y, the people born after 1980 and before 2000, the majority of the young workforce in today's organizations. This generation has largely grown during a period of time when India's growth has been perhaps at its most rapid since the last 100 years or even before. So I personally see that growing up in this period of rapid change has brought certain kinds of tensions to the lives of these people, to the Gen Y. I could specifically think of 5 types of tensions. Tension number 1, the tension between optimism and pessimism. Gen Y is very optimistic about this world in many ways. But Gen Y also has certain areas of pessimism, skepticism, and so on. Tension number 2, the tension between being ambitious and being stable. On the one hand, Gen Y has a lot of ambition. On the other hand, they are cautious. They know that being over-ambitious can lead to instability and destroy lives. Tension number 3, the tension between focus on the self and focus on the society as a whole. So we see sometimes selfishness, we also see sacrifice. We see both these things existing in Gen Y, and this is tension number 3. Tension number 4, the tension between accepting and living with traditional values and being very modern. So we see both these things existing in Gen Y. And finally, the tension between being natural, living a natural life, and also accepting the artificiality of modern life. The tension between the natural and the artificial. So I've just mentioned these briefly, and though I do have some thoughts on these, I would like to hear the insights of my experienced dignitaries today. Let me begin with Benny. We'll begin by talking about the tension between optimism and pessimism. In your opinion, Gen Y should certainly be optimistic, I guess, but then they do have some things to be pessimistic about. How would you advise them to balance out this force of optimism that they should have and the force of pessimism that can sometimes pull them down? What do you think is a balancing approach that they
Thank you very much for the fabulous introduction, first of all. So, we have a wonderful panel here, my panel colleagues and industry colleagues and faculties and students. Thank you very much for inviting me for this particular function. I really enjoy and it's good. Before answering that question, how do we address on the tension perspective, I just want to share with you what are we trying to do. Couple of minutes. Can I? Yeah. We are looking at how do we, the theme today is how do we engage our young workforce. Why do we want to engage them? Basically, if I put it in very simple words, you should create a committed workforce, which already they have explained. Our panels work become much easier because everything has been covered there, social, political, economic, everything. Looking at this simple theory or simple way, you need to look after your employees. If you look after your employees, they will look after your customer. If your customer is looked after very well, we will do good billing or we generate business and our shareholders will be happy. So to achieve this, we do all of this related stuff. Coming back to this tension perspective, or you created with the tension in the employee's mind or young generation's mind. Also, we are speaking about the generation born after 1980. I think they are human beings, therefore they have all this tension. What is happening around the society, they are reacting to the situation. What you said, everything is true, they have optimism. There could be an element of pessimism too. Similarly, they are ambitious. Everyone is ambitious. They are also focus oriented. I am very happy with this generation. They also accept traditional values, as you have mentioned. Some of them are natural. And everything is happening around the world in which they live, make them to react in that way. So therefore, they all are responsible individuals and responsible individuals in the society. An element of pessimism or whatever you have mentioned about the opposite side of whatever you said, the positive. It is there, it is natural, and that's why the world is growing and the world is focused and the team is focused, the generation is focused. They know what they do. That is why this entire young team is here. They are doing their MBA. They want to come up in life. And they also, I was speaking to one of the professors, they mentioned that most of them are here from 3 to 6 years ranging experience, and they went out to the industry, they worked there, and they have seen the world a little bit or the industry side of it, and they came back to do their MBA. So they know once their fundamentals are right, once they clear their fundamentals, they can always will have a horse jump approach. So from my perspective, it's natural. It is to be like this, and it is a transforming and transitional. It is bound to happen.
So you think that it's natural for them to have a certain level of pessimism in their life. It's not something that is to be worked upon by us to systematically remove and try to make them only optimistic about life.
When I look at this generation, I don't think they are pessimistic. An element of pessimism will be there in any human beings, right? We are trying to overcome. Maybe the discussion itself is today, we are deliberating this issue, is to make them aware of and of their pessimism, if at all anything It's there, an element of pessimism. I also agree it is there. But we are making them aware of and making them aware of the pessimistic approach and then convert that into an optimistic view. Or there is a dark area of pessimism that can be broadened. The optimism area can be broadened.
Yeah.
So,
We can perhaps build on this as we move forward. The second tension is about the tension between being ambitious and being stable. And I would like Mr. Subramanian to talk a little bit about this. We see today's youth showing plenty of ambition. We have students talking about, becoming entrepreneurs, rising up the corporate ladder very fast, and so on. So at the same time, there is a question of sacrificing stability, attention to family, and so on. So what can you tell us about how to balance the two, or should there be a balance at all in the first place?
Thank you, Professor. Hello. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for this opportunity. This understanding Gen Y, it's going to be an ongoing thing. We recently did a talent review in our organization. We have about 9 levels in our organization. What we found out was the bottom 7 levels, the average age was around 27, 28, and the top 2 levels were about 35 to 40. So the issue lies in the interface, the whole tension about, do we understand them or do they understand us? If you really think about the whole thing, as managers who are, within quotes, a little old, with a bit of a gray hair, we should make that extra effort to understand them because they are going to drive the future. So it is about we training ourselves to understand them better. And this young generation, their boundaries of stability as we understand is different. See, for us stability means somebody who can work for a decade, but for them stability means, being in a job for the next 2 years. It's something that we need to understand and appreciate and live with it. Having said that, these people again have a sense of entitlement. You give them a work which they enjoy, which they'll be recognized for. If they are confident, they will deliver.